Oh, good morning, my dear friends. Sometimes I don't know why the things come to my mind, but I think God process us depending on what is deeply buried in our heart and things that we are compassionate about. I believe that's it. So this morning, every time I think about Liberia, I thought a traditional old social issues of 1 cup of rice. 1 cup of rice. You know, the issue of 1 cup of rice in Liberia is an age-old tradition where people that living in the community during many decades back, right up to the time that we are now in the history of Liberia. 1 cup of rice. 1 cup of rice. This is so emotional this morning. And the issue of 1 cup of rice worsened during the 14 years long war. When a nation like Liberia fight 14 years long deadly war that the entire country was under the control of gunmen for 14 years up to 2023, where the country never had any economy before even the war. Then what you think happened to the 14 years in that country? I bring this thing up, God bring this thing up to me to say to Liberian people and those that listen to me to know the extent of, because you got to know the extent of your situation before you can be moved to solve it. 1 cup of rice. God sent me in a home to grow. I will always talk about it because sometimes there are people who want to know where you're coming from with all this talking. I'm on the social media, YouTube, Facebook, just talking about issues that matter most to my heart. But this morning, I thought about Liberia. The Spirit brought it to me with the issue of 1 cup of rice. When the war came, I lived on 12th Street. When Liberians turned to eating grass that we never ate in our whole life before until 1990, grass, when there was no food, when the port of Monrovia was seized and all the food were taken on rebel bases, elderly people, old people, the cripple, the blind, all walking day after day just looking for a cup of rice. Pregnant women who just delivered, because I was living right near SD Cooper Hospital on 12th Street. This morning is about Liberia and the issue of 1 cup of rice. In 1990, I saw that. Before God and man, I did what I could do when it came, because where I grew up in Bento, our mom and our dad never ever allowed us to go hungry for a day. No way. We have sufficient food to eat. And it's that woman that make me, maybe her spirit is with me, that brought the issue of 1 cup of rice, because this is a woman, Jemima Thompson Parker and George Parker, when they cook, there was always an extra bowl of rice and soup on the side. And because I always honor her, around her cooking, she will call me to hand her spoon to go dip the soup and bring it for her to taste it. And it's okay. And when she turned her back, myself tasting it too. And she will keep food, 1 cup of rice. She will say, you never know who's going to come hungry. She was not responsible for the world, but we are. That's how they display God religious living. That's how they display it in us. So that when they die today or tomorrow as they're gone, we will be able to just think about the value of 1 cup of rice. God took me to the, and fortunately for us, we got rice in a magical way from Edwin, what they call it, the president for FCIB, Edwin, yeah. It's that time the late Reginald Thompson, Theophilus Thompson, Kokwali. We were walking to give our bag of rice, and we had close to 1,000 people walking behind us from 12th Street to Edwin Cooper House to our house behind SDA Hospital on 12th Street. More than 1,000 people were walking behind us, and I had interaction with my brothers. I saw old lady, pregnant women coming, and all I was doing, I was just dipping my hand in the rice. Wherever I got my hand or in a cup, I will put it in the lapper or the hand. My brother said, I said, when the rest finish, what will get rest for? I say, I will not have rest in this house. And people, old lady, pregnant women passing, hungry, and we got rested, I will not share. I will share it with them. When it finished, all of us will go hungry. But this morning, the issue of 1 cup of rice, it just came to my mind. It's so emotional. Monrovia, I went there, I spent a year there. I saw what it means to not be able to afford a cup of rice. I got so much friends that I think about day after day, but I don't have the money to help them. But I have the compassion to be able to interpret some of these things, so that I just want to pay tribute to people living abroad, America and Europe, that helping the people to feed, to buy food for them. I thank God for you people. My son Arthur Tati, morning. Matthew Johnson, yeah, morning. 1 cup of rice, Liberia. It is an emotional issue. When a Liberian comes to your house and asks you for 1 cup of rice, just pray over that cup of rice and give it to them. If you can afford more than that, give it to them. And on 12th Street, 19, I told my brothers I prefer for the food to finish than for it to be in this house. And then old people, pregnant with me, children passing with green in their hand, with nothing to go eat with. At the end of the day, they're going to boil the greens, that those plants that we saw in Liberia, we used to see that flower, everything that we didn't know. But during the walking, all of those things that we used to jump over, all of them turned to food. Those greens that we never eat. Somebody will say that gray something, that those carrots green with the purple leaves, we say that gray flower. We can't eat it, not knowing that's a very healthy green there. In America, that's the most expensive. That greens that is growing in Liberia with that purple leaf, that's the most expensive in Chinese store whatsoever here. Most expensive. The people from the Caribbean can eat it. They call it kalalu. Maybe that the place the people can, because most of the people that we used to call Congo people, most of them were mixed up with people that came from the Caribbean, and they brought some of the culture, like lemongrass that we got in Liberia, all of those things. It came from the Caribbean. It's there. The people those are lemongrass is a very important tea, but in Liberia. But this morning, My focus is on 1 cup of rice. Yeah, Arthur, I know. You know where we came from, where we grew up. You know. All of you people here know. Johnson, Matthew Johnson. We're all in a refugee camp. All my friends. 1 cup of rice. When I went to Liberia 2017 to 2018, I went by 19 to bury my brother. I saw what it means to be hungry. And what it means to be hungry, and you don't have any means what to think about. Because what kind of job was there to be able to earn? Those that could afford food for their children, they are living in houses with fence that cover the zinc, the roof of the houses, where the people from outside can never, even afraid to go near the gates. Those who can afford food from 2017 to 2018-19 in Liberia, those who could afford any amount of food to eat, the fence around their home or right up to the roof. And then not only that, razor wire were around it. But the one that I live in, when I was in there, in Gaytown, the one that I spent time in when I went to Liberia, my son's house, his roof was up to a top with razor wire, but that house was open to the community. My son, in Gaytown, I'm not going to call his name. I don't want any plain Mama Jomo. His house, his fence was open to the community. He had a pump in his yard and was open to the entire community. Food, everything was open to the community. People that were working in his house were living in the same community. Nothing in our house that he deprived. But I cannot spend for the rest of the houses that the fence and the razor wire covered their roof. I can't fend for it. But that one that I live in, what I saw and what I know there, that's what happened. That's why when they went to go destroy him and the children, the community moved in a massive to put the fire off and to save them, he and the children. The community moved. Food. Many days I passed in the street crying. If I left from my house to go in the street with money, I will not return with any, because most of the time I walk in this atmosphere of exercise, but I could not afford to ride motorbike. So this morning, Liberia, 1 cup of rice. So what is the situation there now up to the time Oben Boaka took over? You have a government, a bunch of so-called additional Liberians that murder the country money. They didn't even murder the country money alone. They begin to murder physically the citizens. Many deaths were justified. Children lost their lives. Children got missing. They defend it. People who were killed, tortured, and built trouble with murder in the more deadliest faction. Will anybody answering a question under that government? You seen people who now they say they want to disturb Boaka and come back to. Why you think that kind of thing happening? People who created that kind of thing in the government. Why people could not afford rice, 1 cup of rice. Some people could not afford it. Yet and still, they're making noise. They're thinking about they will come back 2029. Think about it. about what have gone wrong with this thing on the heads of Liberian people. Think about it. My own said not even correct. Cup of rice. Who can afford a cup of rice this morning as I speak? How many person? Just check it. I'm not talking in the interior. Our people from time immemorial, they've been making farm. Even though most of the farm thing is boiled down to the older people, because most of the children in the interior, everything, they work, they had to run to diamond and makeshift gold mines to go work to get the gold and things to get money, because everybody not after money in the country. The people had displaced people from West African country and digging up Liberia. In every part of Liberia where they smell mineral, they carry anything there to reach to our mineral and digging it up. When our people, majority, cannot afford a cup of rice, this is not on Omen Boakai. What is on Omen Boakai? That God had brought him in for the time that he got on earth to leave some kind of Liberia with us that the charge the old man got. And I will pray that everything that he said he will do, he will accomplish it 200%, not 100%, 200%. Those one who running the mouth, sitting in offices and doing things, that when the time will come, they think that joke that going on in our country. People think about a much a political issue. That child who spoke, that girl who spoke, 150% support. Because when somebody speaks, and 99.9% of the speech is intended to rescue and redeem our nation, that is a hard mark that no one can challenge. That 1% that I took up, it was because they made our traditional friend to feel bad. But our politics and our women, they know that women, the ambassadors of women are emotional people. There's something that hit her because they know the amount of money they're spending. They know how much money they are putting into Liberia from the time of independence, funding of that country independent. They know. They got records on all that money. And the people, the American embassy, they know how much money has been stolen. That bitches that's sitting in that town, they know how much money they took from the country. Liberian people, you don't got sense. No, a lot of people ain't got sense. They're sitting in offices with hell of a coat on, they ain't got sense. You know that American money? Y'all know the reason why it became legal tender and the American government look at it like that? That money, it was intended originally for central bank, national bank alone, so that importers will change the Liberian dollar to one-to-one disparity to the US dollar to import goods. That's what that money was intended for. But when Ellen Johnson came with 20,000 troops, they needed to pay them in United States dollar because the Liberian dollar didn't have any value, and those foreign troops could not carry Liberian dollar back home. So now it become a legal tender. So ever since all that money, whoever took it, wherever it went, Uncle Sam got record on it, and they will make sure the country will get that money back. So nobody will worry and say, you can't do something Sam and then come with talking nonsense. Don't waste your time, because Uncle Sam will collect all that money. That walk up, there's a lot of things that will benefit Liberia from that walk up, because they listen to us. I got a voice that they listen to. Several things I recommended are taking place. So me, I don't worry myself. So this morning, my issue is about a cup of rice. So to conclude this morning, after Matthew, my three boys were me this morning. To conclude, let's go to Matthew chapter 14, What happened with Jesus and the crowd? That crowd that Jesus rescued, that hunger thirst, that crowd did not have access to half cup of rice or few grains of rice or where to find rice, to find anything to eat. There were more than 5,000 hungry children of Israel in the desert, hungry. No sign of agriculture in the desert, no sign of food anywhere, nowhere. Dry, desert means dry ground, no life, no food, no way. 5,000 was hungry. And we're talking about 5 million people, an issue of 1 cup of rice in Liberia. And now we see in Matthew 14, Jesus and the crowd of 5,000. But this part of it, it was Jesus' miraculous power that took place with the issue of the 5,000 and feeding them. Because Jesus had the miraculous power to multiply many cups of rice. For each 5,000, each of them was entitled to have a cup of rice, each of them. And he called for the rice and the soup. That's where the history of rice and soup comes from. You cannot cook dry rice, just eat it. I say you want to eat dry rice, maybe you put butter on it. But if you cook soup, fish, because during those days, fish is a very important thing in the Jewish tradition. That's why when Jesus recruited, he recruited fishermen who were all millionaires during that time. So he said, fish is important for this culture, for the Jewish culture. And if I can recruit the millionaires then who's supplying the fish, and they leave that fish and that money and can't join me, then that's the people that I'm looking for. But this morning, I'm talking about Liberia, 1 cup of rice. And then Jesus faces the challenge of providing 1 cup of rice each for 5,000 people. And a little bit of soup. Because 1 cup, if Jesus just used a loaf of bread and 1 fish to multiply with 5,000 people. 5,000 hungry people. He fed with rice. What about the 5 million people that we say we got our population? How can we reach 1 cup of rice to 5 million people per day? Because everybody men got to eat every day. So as I conclude, with Liberia 1 cup of rice, I end with Jesus facing 5,000 hungry people. You see the nomenclature there? 5,000 Jesus fed, and now we challenge with a cup of rice for 5 million Liberians. How about that? You see the relationship there. Jesus confronted 5,000 hungry people with 5,000 cups of rice for each of them. Liberia, we got 5 million people. And I'm not sure how many of the 5 million people that can afford a cup of rice every day. Money for the cup of rice is in the pocket of wretched, corrupt men. We will harass your soul. Those of you who are studying the common money, we will disturb your soul, and we will plant people when we get too old. If that corruption can finish, to disturb your old man Bwaka, God will strengthen him to deal with all of you corrupt people. All that money, they'll take it. They'll put all of you in jail. That's why I told them you should start asking the UN to build Bela Yala. The prison compound there. It shouldn't be prison, it should be what they call correction center. Bela Yala. I keep saying that. That's the only way. Because those children, we got to take them and put them in institution. When they come from there, a human being. And the country, the way we got to do it, the old man had to raise the economy of the country from our natural resources. Where everybody running from all over the world. And we got to move those ones that in the bush digging. We got to take them from there and move it. We got to go back over our citizenry record. Who holding our passport? Everything. Our travel document. Because during the war, people, makeshift criminal Liberians sold all of our national document to criminals around the world. And they're still holding on to that. We got to do a thing to block it so that when we close all the evil holes, our people will be able to afford a cup of rice per day. That's the problem this morning. The most challenge was people who are thirsty. Because when Jesus got to feeding them, at one point they got thirsty, and then Moses was there because Moses has already been in power. So how many Moses? The only Ezekiel and Moses right now, woman Boakai. And heaven knows who that are going to stay with him to get the job done. Ezekiel and the Moses. So, Jesus fed 5,000. 5,000 cup of rice. Then at one point, that same group, Moses had to provide water for them. And his anger, he used his anger and gave them so much water out there. God punished him for it. All the punishment God put all together and punished him one time that he didn't go to heaven. He didn't go there. But wherever God put him, only God knows. So I start by this morning to thank you people. I know the pressure that the issue of one cup of rice got on us in America. All of the family that the resettlement took to America and Europe and Asia, they've been providing one cup of rice for their people over the years. And God will bless you. Those of you who are successful, you see that everything well for you. Just think about what you've been doing for people. Just think about how you have been feeding your people. Even friends that you've been sending food to, that call you and you got the amount, money, the little money to send to them. Because so you send them their $20 or $30, they're running straight to go buy half bag of half bag because during our day we have 100-pound bag of red that what we didn't know, but send the war Liberian people dealing with quarter bag of rice because of the hardship. And the money that we're paying for the quarter bag of rice, that the money we're paying for a whole 100-pound bag of rice, if not even less of it, until they decided to run behind our blessed president and kill him for rice. Indigenous, what's about the bag of mafia and who's will be having rice from all over the country, deported them. They didn't go to go plant rice, talk about planting rice, they went and informed people to get him for the rest. Hey, Timo, Bishop, morning. You know, they went and get him for rice. When they didn't have one farm that was even garden in that backyard. Me, I in Canada, I got garden with my front yard. There, every year I can produce, plant it and produce it. My tomato, my corn, my palawa salt, my water green, everything there. I put it there for you to see. Timo, Bishop, what's up, man? Hey, my Bishop. He just come from Liberia. Bishop just come from Liberia. Mr. Timothy Harris, one of my boys. He loved me. From the refugee camp, he always loved me. I always loved him myself. And all of you people, these people, Matthew Johnson, we all, the Methodist boys, Buddha born Methodist boys. Then after 30, my son that grew up in my hand. Yes. Yeah, Timo. I'm talking about one cup of rice, and God bless you, Timothy. I know the heart you got. I know the amount of people. Matthew feeding, after 30, the same thing. Poor Matthew Johnson, a holy friend. But the day God look our way, whoever we can drop to, we will drop. If God will provide the means that we can do it in a group and find a means. Food is very important. So this morning, Liberia in 1 cup of rice. And we're concluding with Matthew 14. I'm talking about the other Matthew. Okay, that June Matthew, my fish. Matthew 14. When Jesus fed the 5,000, each of them had a cup of rice. And they were hungry. And after that time, when Jesus did his part, Moses, when that same group got thirsty, Moses appeared and squeezed water out of the rock for them to drink. So, God will squeeze water out of the rock for our hungry Liberians to drink when they are thirsty. And then Jesus has already will provide the rice, the food, so that our people will have plenty of cup of rice in their home, that they don't have to become a beggar in our own country when foreigners enjoying. The West African country, during our war, they help us. But trust me, there's something is difficult to talk, but I'm not scared to talk anything. But we got some foreign substances in our country that were brought in by foreigners during the Georgia time. Look at that amount of money. 100,000 millions of dollars worth of drugs were being pumped into that country to affect the lives of the young generation, to keep them stupid while they take the country money. That's the intention of how the proliferation of drugs begin paramount and permanent in our nation, to spoil their head. As long as they are crazy and they are stupid, we will take what we want. We'll give them anything. All of them come and marry to our vulnerable additional girls, children who come from additional parents who born them and can't control the children. They come and marry them to get our certificates. Do you know how much of them pour into North America on our document? That's what happens when stupid people bring war in the country. When they don't calculate. If the war has a reason to come, there must be a reason to find a way to stop it. To do it for a while and stop it. Because all the war that God said, it was planned by himself. You see what I mean? We got Bishop Timothy Harris as the doctor in America. We got so many medical doctors. Then we rely on people who will go 2 weeks to learn how to give injection. By the time they give injection, they are doctors. They wear white garment. They are doctors. A lot of them try. But when you got things the thing that is worse is 75% more than the 25%, then that problem. So sometimes you will not even know who the good doctor in Liberia, because everybody go into the area that produces money. Doctor, the area of law, or doctor, law, and what else? Accounting. Everybody want to do accounting. Everybody don't go to law because they have created some legal mischief, ad hoc, de facto, what they call it, legal system. Because that thing that going, everything in the Liberian government system is de facto, down to even the two houses, all de facto. But we got some really good people in the midst of a de facto setting. De facto means something that is temporary. It's acceptable, but it's temporary. It's not certain, but it's part of it. A part of the whole that can be fixed later on. De facto. Everything in our country tends to be de facto. The government system that Owen Barker trying to fix. He inherited a de facto system that he had to fix. And having difficulties to find the people, to get his hands on the right people to help him fix the country. That's the challenge that woman Boaga got. But he know God, and he know what to do. When he ready to do it, Liberia will boom, boom, boom. Ghana. The people of Ghana have to go to God to cleanse Ghana, and Ghana is competing with development of America and Europe. That's why they're coming in with a lot of influence, because they are like America in Africa, West Africa right near us. They're coming in. But wherever things are coming in, we must be candid about what the intention of those that are giving us. We got to be clear about it. Because if somebody give you a cup of rice and take 10 bags of rice from you, now that's small thing there. Somebody offer you a cup of rice and they know that there will come a time they will get 10 bags from you. So compare the disparity between a cup of rice and 10 bags of rice. That's the situation, our economic situation right now. They're bringing 1 cup of rice to us because we did it. And they're going to take 10 bags of rice away from us. Certain people in our country, we got to be serious, strong about them. Check them out. In the West, when you come in America and Europe and you apply for a job and they say bring references, trust me, those references will be reached out to. And the response from the references will determine you getting that job. This is where we're supposed to take our country. People who come to do business, we got to check their background. What their foundation in business, those investors are coming. That, you got to check the background. Check the country. You got to find a committee, women need to find a vetting committee that will be able to check on the companies that come into Liberia. What they have done, what their role in Europe and West, or even in Africa, what they're doing there first, before we should accept them to come to Liberia, because they're saying that, oh, they just had a war, everybody crazy and stupid in the country, we can get rich in 2 days' time. When my investor sent me to Liberia, I told them what to do and they agreed. And they were honest with it. I told them my target is the young generation, to help them. You invest, the government get a portion, but you should be able to return something to the country by getting involved in the social services and other kind of stuff. And they agree. And then what I did, but I want to tell my children, my boys, when I went to Liberia, I met, when I'm talking about why I went to Liberia, I want to say that today. You people, whoever that were involved, that anything happened, I got nothing against any of you. Even the people who created a problem for me, I got nothing against them. You're my children. I don't want you to feel guilty or feel bad about me. I'm talking, I want things to fix in our country. When I bring up my issue in Liberia, it's not about anything that happened to my children from Bento. None of them. I'm telling you today that from my heart, you don't feel bad. I just want to help the country because I see the improvement in your life. Where your brother established a business that is successful because he's a good-hearted man. And that good heart is generated from his gene, from his generation, from his gene. So you don't feel bad. I had to talk about it because it happened to a lot of people. So you don't feel bad. I don't hold it against you. Nothing, never. Before I left Liberia, you saw every day we were together. One of your house, one of my son, I will to a house every day to let him know that he's my child. I got love for him. I was to a house every day before I left to come. Even when I went back to Berry, I was there. Jerry and myself were there to a house. So I got nothing. You don't feel bad about anything. I say we got to talk the hard conversation about our country, so that the children you're living behind tomorrow, when they can't work anymore, you all have a country you live with children. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what we all fighting for. So I want to thank you this morning. And Timothy, thank you. I know you know me for a long time, you know what I stand for. All of you people know me from Budabron Camp. They know what I stood for. When I left the camp, before people start calling me, You know, Jesus, after Jesus died, before people started to, recognizing him. So I understood the situation. But I appreciate the people who called me after say, I said, we didn't realize what he did for us. But, so, just stand by. They probably got something special coming up. And you people will get to know because you're following me. So you'll pray. Just say, I'll probably feel disclosing that something important coming up. Wherever it is, you're not telling us, God, please help it to be successful so that it can help our nation. It's something for our whole country that the generation unborn will come and say, yes, my grandma told me about this. Yes. Thank you for showing up this morning. Let us share the video. But this morning, I just want to thank you, all of you people, plus the many Liberians that providing a couple rest for your family back home. You are hero, you are gracious, and you will be blessed. Double portion for your children, and they will never go hungry. I don't care what happened. Whether today or tomorrow, if you can old and die, even their great-grandchildren being, they will never go hungry. Because that one cup of rest that you're sending for someone, it's creating a lot of joy and quenching the hunger thirst. Just that one cup of rest. I'm not going to the bags you're sending, I know. But the one cup of rice that you can afford. If you afford rice, food in your house, find a small bowl, see the hungry children standing around, call them, and let them sit down and eat, give them water to drink. The blessing from those children. I talk about those of you in Liberia. If you can afford food, the house I talk about in Gaetan, everybody fed from our house. It was a big fence, but that fence was open to the community. That why when Satan went there to go destroy them, the community moved in massive. That's how Liberia is. People can come and be like, I can crazy, but they know good people. They act like the crazy or forget it. They know good people. And when the time comes, they stand behind you. So I want to thank you all for listening this morning. Let me pray for all of you people. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, those of my friend Timothy Harris, who you took into Liberia, he's back. Murphy Johnson, a member of the men group, he knows who's speaking. Arthur Tati, my son, being very respectful all his life towards me. Even Timothy Harris has maintained respect for me all of the time. And Matthew, all of these guys. Matthew is my boy, in my hometown boy. I just disclose it. May you bless them, bless their home. Bless the home of those who provided just a cup of rice for the family back home in Liberia. May you bless them, multiply and quadruple everything they're giving to hungry people. Multiply in their lives so that they too, that generation, would never go hungry. I just want to thank you for them. I pray for driving mercy. I pray for getting up every morning to drive and go. You be the driver of the car, especially those who are in Europe and America. I also get up every morning, assign the Holy Spirit to every vehicle of every Liberian that are going to work. And that family are benefiting back home. They're able to feed them. And may you have mercy upon those who have killed that family for their own property that they work hard for in America and send them home. They killed them for that. From they ate their money, and when they got home, they killed them. Children killed their parents. I was there in Liberia. A boy when they go carry armed robbers to go arm rob his mother that had just come. And the mother identified them and they butchered that woman in Douazan. I regretted why I look at the picture when they were exposed in newspaper. I just want to thank you for them and every Liberian, those that have been sent from Budobron camp. God, you know the other day how I was so emotional talking. I'm so emotional talking about Buduburum. Okay? You know, it was a little country that everyone knew each other. Everyone, when our heart, we turned around our each other home. We got a couple rest. And that issue of the couple rest that God brought to me this morning, it coming from Buduburum refugee camp, where some people were forced, some people couldn't. But there was people with hospitality that extended to hungry people on the camp, fed them. I want to pray for those who will be listening to this video to think about it, Liberia and issues of OneCup of rest. I pray in the name of the Father, Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit. I pray with thanksgiving. Amen. So God bless all of you people. My prayer goes with you guys. And may we continue to pray for each other. Love you and bless you. Bless the family. Say hello. All of your children are my grandchildren. So me, my own, I don't want got the highest number of grandchildren in the world. So every one of you people, all you who follow me, all your children are my grandchildren. And when I pray, I will pray for everybody. I pray for everybody who on my page. And pray for the children, because all your children are my grandchildren. So thank you for watching, and may you share this video so that God will bless our country and redeem it, and then we'll cleanse it so that will drive the demonic forces from all of our nation, from in our people who surviving on spirituality, spiritist, medicine man, everything, that God will redeem our people from the hands of the evil. Amen. Amen.